This is Ballyphilip Parish Church, Portaferry, at the southern end of the Ards Peninsula in County Down. The church burial ground, like many others of its kind dotted around the countryside, contains the graves mainly of parishioners, people from the local community. There is one grave in particular which I would like to talk about because it has a very different story to tell. And here it is. The inscription, even though it's over 126 years old, is actually still quite legible. And it says, "In loving memory of Jennie Cheshire, who was drowned in Strangford Lough, the 11th of April, 1895, aged 20 years. Unfortunately, Jennie was not the only victim. There were 7 others who perished in the same episode. It was and still is the worst loss of life in a single incident on Strangford Lough. From our research, we believe that Jennie was a pet name, probably, for Jane Cheshire, who was born in Paddington, London, in January of 1875. By the 1891 census, she was a dressmaker's assistant. In the early 1890s, she found new employment as a lady's maid. Quite a responsible position for someone so young and inexperienced. And by 1895, she was a lady's maid for Lady Kathleen Cole, who was the daughter of the Earl of Enniskillen and who was only 2 years older than Jane. The Earl of Enniskillen owned Florence Court, a big house in County Fermanagh. At the time of the funeral, local papers referred to a large number of persons accompanying her remains to the grave, most likely the people of our Portaferry and the surrounding countryside, paying respect to this young stranger in their midst. Perhaps today, very few local people of the peninsula know anything about Jane Cheshire, or about the larger tragedy which engulfed her, and many others, on that fateful day in April 1895. One final curious fact. Church records indicate that an unmarked grave, right alongside Jane's, contains the remains of another young stranger caught up in the same disaster. Why not visit the exhibition to find out more details?